Hey everybody. Welcome to another Simulation Sunday, a community live stream. I started a little early today because I know we're going to have the game, so I don't want to be crossing over too much into that. I was actually planning on doing it a little earlier, but that didn't quite work out. But I know a lot of people are going to want to end up watching the game. It should be pretty good. You may know from my style who I'm rooting for. I don't really follow sports that much, but I do have quite a few friends that are from Philly, and they like their team. So I have no problem rooting for them. So there you go. So I'm rooting for the Eagles this time around, and we'll see if they win it or not. Because I know the Patriots are also a pretty solid team, so we'll just have to wait and see. We look at chat. Duragoth, welcome. And then we have Inter Angel, welcome to chat. Alright. So let's take a look at a few styles here. I think I actually want to see Supreme Baron Mordo. That actually looks pretty interesting. I really like the cape. The cape's from the new Grey Lantern style set. I have the full Elite set now, and I really like the cape. The cape's a really nice look to it. Yeah, cape's very nice. I like how it drapes from the neck off to the shoulders all the way down the back. That actually looks pretty nice. And then who's that? Wallace Rudolph. Let's take a quick look at them. So it sort of looks like a Superman style. I'm not crazy about how the belt clips with the legs. I don't know. There's got to be something a little better than that. I feel like there's going to be better legs or something that they can use. Because you got the waist style clipping right into it. And then kind of the shoulders clipping into the chest. I mean it's alright. But those are kind of glaring issues. Get counts here. Hi, Iconic House of Blue Lantern Augment on your end. How's the Blue Lantern Augment on my end? Let's see. Well, I currently use the Empowering Pulse and the Hope Wave. Hope Wave's really good. The combo part of it. Then you have Empowering Pulse. I ended up switching out the White Lantern Nova, the Radiant Nova, for Empowering Pulse. Even though this is a finisher and it sounds like it would do a little more damage, right? But it actually doesn't. I think when it doesn't crit, it hits for like 171,000 on like enemies, and then when it crits, I think it's like 3-ish, and then when they're under a certain level, then they hit for about 400,000. Where with Empowering Pulse, like the base damage when it doesn't crit is like almost 200 something thousand, and then when it crits, it's almost 500,000. So it's kind of a no-brainer to run the Empowering Pulse instead, and I get a heal off of it, so that's why I ended up running that instead. And then Hope Wave, just that kind of speaks for itself. Just the supercharged back is really good on that. And I ended up changing my allies for this build. I ended up throwing Mr. Freeze back on because with Hope Wave, it's just enough supercharge for me to keep, running Berserks back to back, just about. So I'm using Mr. Freeze again for his AoE ability when using a supercharge. So that's what I'm kind of running on that. And then let's look at this Hulk character. I actually like this weird Hulk character. That's actually kind of cool. It kind of looks like gamma radiation running through his body. Too bad like the legs don't run all the way up. That'd be kind of cool. Or at least they could have pants that tuck into the legs or something, so it keeps the illusion going. But otherwise, it's not terrible. It's not bad. Let's see. because a friend of mine back in the day was actually trying to do a very like ice style, and then they wanted legs that would clip into those pants well enough to where it looked like, um, you know, he had like ice legs, and you could, you know, make it look like that. But I think he had like one set of legs that he found. They were okay, but they weren't like the best, and they did the job, but it was kind of meh. So we got Arthur here, Arthur Curry, and then we got the Aquaman guy right next to him. This isn't bad. I kind of like this. Kind of wish he had the Spellbound skin. That'd make it even better. But this isn't terrible. But then the Spellbound puts stuff on the face. Maybe he didn't want stuff on the face for his character. And then we have Superman JLM over here. Let's see. So this is actually pretty classy. I actually like this. I use the same material on the chest and legs that he's using as well. I put my Superman and Ultraman together for a new video using the chest and legs, and this is the style I use. I mean the material I used. I used the burnished bronze chroma. It gives it like a nice texture without it looking like pajama bottoms and pajama tops. I just don't like how it looks with that. But overall, I mean, I like that aesthetic better. We have Flames Goddess over here. Gamerholics is nice football. Yeah. I wanted to make something special for this stream since it was on the same day. So I was like, all right, I'll make a football style, and it was actually a little harder than you'd expect. Because you're trying to get the emblem and everything on a short sleeve shirt and all that, and have it actually look pretty good. So, yeah, it's not terrible. Count says, interesting, I was able to make a Blue Lantern style too, can't miss it. This is also my Green Lantern now has 3 loadouts, which each symbolize different rings available: willpower, hope, and life. Yeah, unfortunately with the we got Epic Unborn right here. We'll look at him. Unfortunately with the Valentine's event coming out next Tuesday, it doesn't look like we're getting a Star Sapphire ring. So maybe that'll be something for next year, or maybe for a DLC or something. But yeah, we're not getting one this time around. I was kind of hoping that we'd get like a Orange Lantern one for Halloween and like a Star Sapphire one for Valentine's, but that does not seem to be the case. So they're doing their version of Star Sapphire Diana. It's very nice. I think it works out pretty good. Yeah, it's not terrible. I would definitely. I know that I wouldn't use the battery. I know it sounds great, but I would actually use the lasso as the accessory, so you could have a waist style that goes across. You could use the new Absolute Kryptonian waist style to go ahead and have like gold, because she has gold at the waist. She has gold, like a gold waistline that goes on the side of the Star Sapphire emblem. That's probably what I would throw on there, so it looks a little closer to her. Yeah, that's probably what I'd end up using. Let's see, and then we have Black Adam of Kahndaq over here. So it's kind of, I guess they're trying to do like a Sinestro Corps version of the character, because I know they have like a bounty for the character out in like Battle Zone Metropolis. I've went ahead and played my hero just to fight those characters. And then we have a Storm character over here. Storm T'Challa, very nice. I like the aesthetic of it. It's very simple, but I think it works very well. Let me see. Doer Goth says, I doubt we will get an ultraviolet ring, but I want it. You never know, but yeah, that's probably on the lesser side. Count says also Beacon of Hope is an incredible heal to have. It makes you immune to the Starfield attack the Grey Lanterns use. I'll use that in the solo, but I otherwise don't carry it. I don't carry it usually because I don't carry it because it's usually not beneficial anywhere else unless it's in like content that has the fields, right? If I was in content that has that, I would just knock my my shield out and run Beacon of Hope. But I don't really see myself running or carrying that unless I'm like a healer, because it does buff up your group if they're healed by it. It gives them like 5% might. So it kind of makes sense to go ahead and give them that, right? So I run that, and then I run the group heal, which is the knockback that I run on my tank here, like I mentioned. I also run that on my healer. I run that on the second loadout bar, because I said on one of my videos that I would 100% replace it with my other group heal, but then I took a look at it, and that's incorrect. I couldn't do that, and here's why. I know for a fact that my group heal on water is 3 seconds, and this is double that. This is 6 seconds. So I can't outright replace my group heal because that just wouldn't work. I'd be waiting twice as long to heal my group. Like, that's crazy. I wouldn't do that. But I would definitely... I'm guessing they do this so that you can't spam the buff like crazy. But yeah, so I'd run it on the second bar for my healer. Not outright replace my group heal, because I didn't know that the difference in the cooldowns was that egregious. But otherwise it's really good. You should still use it, but put on your secondary bar. We got Steve Roger. Oh, well, look at Sinestro over here. I mean, this isn't bad. I kind of like this. This is kind of a nice Red Lantern style going on here. It's not bad. I like the little emblem. Yeah, that's not terrible. Let's see. Trying to get a better look at who we got here. We got Atamu. Let's take a look at him. Let's see here. Duragoth says Black Adam gets a ring during the PLA Bishop invasion in the comics. Oh, the Pale Bishop invasion in the comics. Okay, nice. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I believe it. I believe it. This style isn't bad. This is pretty good. Let's see. And then we have, it looks like a Red Lantern Guy Gardner. It's kind of like the old-fashioned version of him before they, made him look even darker than he was. So that's not bad. I did something very similar to this. And then we have somebody who looks very similar to what I run, but I actually run the black neon chroma on this, because this is nice, but you need the black neon chroma. I did use different hands. I think I used the total tool hands, and then for the waist I used the elemental android, and then I think the hair I used the textured hair, not the flat top. But it's not terrible, it's not bad. And for the accessory, I used the red Merkian shoulder flames. I didn't run that because I was using the Crimson Aura, and the shoulder flames matched that like really well. so it kind of made sense. But like the legs are kind of a given. I expect that chest and feet, of course, you're gonna have them. But yeah, overall, it's not terrible. Not terrible. And then we have Trigger Mortis over here. The name sounds familiar. I have seen this character before, not this exact style, but I do remember just kind of from the coloring that I kind of know this character. They had like a sharpshooter style last time. They actually did appear in one of my shorts. It was a really good style. Let's see here. I was looking, I was like, man, these Amazons are kind of on point, and then I look and I'm like, oh, okay, they are the henchmen. And then we got ourselves Ultraman. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and show my Ultraman. Let me make sure I get the right one. There we go. This is my Ultraman. Let me put my flight ring back on since I switched armories. This is my Ultraman. There we go. So that's what I'm running with. That should appear in a video. Let's see. And then we've got Steve Rogers over here. So I really like this. Not only is the material pretty good, I kind of like that, but I think the whole, like, what they put together for, like, the time travel suit was really good, and he's even got the shield. So I actually like that. It's pretty good. I think the coloring's on point, so not bad at all. Not bad. All right, and then we've got. Let's look at T.Y. John. Storm Goddess says, thank you for showing my storm. Yeah, you're welcome. We have Amir. He says, fire. Yeah, I agree. Count says, forgot to mention there may still be hope for an Indigo Ring augment. Yeah, most likely. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see of what comes about. I mean, do I think it's going to be the last of the augments? No, not even close. It's only a matter of when we're going to get them. That's really what we're looking at, is when we're going to get them. So it's only a matter of time, but it's always us hurrying up and waiting, right? We get something done, and it's like, okay, now we just got to hurry up and wait. So that's kind of the deal with that, right? I actually like this, how they don't use the right Green Lantern legs, and they did that so that they can put the new belt style on. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's kind of nice. All right. Let's see, and then we have DC Icarus. Or no, I'm gonna look at Wonder Woman Injustice 2. I'm gonna look at them. I mean, that's not bad. I kind of like how they combined the waist style with the chest and legs. Like basically, like this belt comes from the legs, and then they added like the whip. I kind of like that. That's not bad. And then I know what material they use. They use one of the Caregiver. I think it's the Caregiver Neon Chroma. They ended up using that on the gauntlets. I actually like that. That works really well. It gives it like metallic finish on like the outer parts and gives it like a glow on the inner part. I kind of like that. That works well. All right, and then we have. I think we've already looked at Damien Hellstorm. I've seen him before. We have. I'm gonna look at Spectres over here. Okay, so not terrible. I don't know this character per se, but I kind of like the hair with the hair with the head style kind of duo there. That's kind of nice. It's got a very aesthetic, pleasing appearance to it. I feel like everything's like super dark on it though. I feel like if you tune the color up just a little bit, I think that'd be really good. But overall, it's not terrible. Kind of like that. Very nice. And that's not Spectre, that's Alchemize. There was somebody next to them and it looked like it said their name was Spectre. It's not. Let's see. We've already looked at Goddess Diane. Let's look at Saint Stranger. So I'm guessing this is probably based on like the Phantom Stranger or something of that nature. Okay, that's kind of wicked looking. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. That definitely goes in a much different direction, but I like that. I like that aesthetic. Very nice. Yeah, I definitely like that. And then we have Deke over here. No. Oh, there you go. I was forgetting about the X's on there. So, I don't know. I kind of like this. I'm guessing it's like an X-Men character. I'm not super knowledgeable about everybody who's ever been in the X-Men, but it doesn't look too bad. I kind of like the shading. I like the bright red coming out from the very dark colors, so that's not bad. I think the contrast of that's pretty good. And then we have Magic User over here. So it's definitely a very Loki inspired style if it's not already. I think maybe it's based on like one of his Marvel rival skins or something of that nature. It looks like one of the ones you'd expect from there. Yeah, it's what I'd expect, but very nice. Very nice Loki style. And then we have Gil over here. So it's kind of like a Superboy style going on here. The thing I like is they went ahead and they don't have the Superboy chest style. So what they did is they just took the Bright Booster style and they made their own Superboy style going on here. I like that. It's like if you work with what you got, and if you don't have the Superboy chest style, you can just use this emblem, I mean this shoulder style, and make your own. I kind of like that. Very nice. Alright. Let's see who else. We got Calavera over here. I think I've seen one of their styles before. I think they did like the Indigo style like a week ago. If I can find them here. And then okay, so they're doing like basically like a Gray Lantern version of the Indigo style. I mean, it's kind of nice. It's like if you don't have the Gray Lantern set, this is not bad. I mean, if you're curious to see what the Gray Lantern style set looks like in person, I actually have it. Let me see if I can get out of combat here first, so I'm not... Let me knock this off if I can. No, still in combat. Go back in inventory, knock that off. There we go, so I don't have to worry about it. So this is kind of the Gray Lantern style I got going on. This is the Elite Enhanced version. So it's very shiny. You got a lot of the energy flowing. The energy mainly flows through the chest and legs. Nowhere else really. I mean, I guess you get a little bit on like the foot there. You can see it on the tip of the toe there, kinda. But everything else is very like either shiny or it's like a cloth, like a very like cloth material to it, like something you'd expect for like Superman. And then you get like the very, I kind of like the thorns that go around the head, kinda. It's like a crown of thorns going around their head. So yeah, so I kind of like that. And then you have like the like the dripping like tears. Like I'm wearing a skin style that kind of adds to the effect. But if you use like a regular, let's just say a regular human, you know, where there's no extra like glow or anything, right? That's what they look like, the tears on it. So there you go. So that's your Gray Lantern. You add that with the Gray Lantern accessory, the emblem and everything. And then I kind of use like the white solar because it kind of had like a raining like effect to it, like a dreary raining effect. So that's what I ended up choosing for that. I really like how the foot style basically has all of like that silver like spikes or whatever going around the leg. It goes all the way up the leg. And then the same with the hand style, it goes all the way up around the kind of the shoulder there. And then the shoulder is just this one side right here, pretty much. Or that one side and a little bit of the top here. But yeah, so that's the Gray Lantern style, the new one. I don't have the regular version yet, but I don't know. Soon enough, I should have it. Maybe another week or two, something like that, maybe. But the thing I'll do with that is I'll go ahead and I'll buy multiple like pieces on each character, and then I'll like style unlock them all on this character. And then we have it looks like a Black Lantern Guy Gardner. I don't know. I've never thought about this. This isn't bad. This is kind of cool. Not sure I'm crazy about the heels on it. I don't know if Guy Gardner's about that, but otherwise, I mean, it's not terrible. Yeah. Let me catch up on chat over here. Amir actually asked a good question that I was going to bring up at some point, but I forgot about it. He says, did Omega really get nerfed? I'm so confused. No, Omega did not get nerfed. It's just that there are a lot of... It's just that a lot of... how do I say, a lot more abilities now are able to keep up with Omega. You have a lot more abilities that are burst damage, that hit, that can be spammable, and you can hit targets much quicker and burn them much quicker than Omega can burn them down. Does it make Omega not good? No, not in the least. Omega is still very powerful, but anybody who's saying it got nerfed just doesn't know what they're talking about. It's as simple as that. Or they're trying to sell you something, right? Like that new Sunstone ability. Yes, it does a lot of damage, but you also have to be melee range. So you put yourself in a lot of danger being very near to the boss like that. That's what they're not telling you, right? So so I would take a lot of that with a grain of salt. If it's very sensational or sensationalized, often it's not true, and somebody has something to gain from it. So I would just follow the incentives and see what they're trying to offer, and then kind of think in your head, okay, all right, I can kind of see where this is going, right? That's why I don't do a lot of videos like that, or overpromise, do clickbaity thumbnails. We were actually talking about this in Discord like a couple days ago. I don't like to do that because I feel like you put yourself in a lot of I don't know, for lack of better words, you put yourself in debt trying to live up to your own thumbnails, and if you can't deliver on that and pay back on that sort of debt in terms of what you're trying to propose with your thumbnail and your title, then you're going to make a lot of people upset, and then they will, over time, just stop watching you as a creator, because they're not going to believe you when you keep putting false expectations in front of them, and then you're basically lying to them. They will just stop watching you after a while, and it's something that happens over time. So I take things like that very seriously, and I try to be pretty honest and pretty authentic about what I think about things, even if it's not super popular. It is what it is. But no, Omega didn't get nerfed. There's just better things that are coming out that's leveling the playing field. So people are expecting Omega to be the one that beats all, and it's just not going to be that anymore. That's what it is. And some people are being dishonest or they're just misinformed about it. That's all. So I would only take that with a grain of salt. Um, it's hitting for the same, and there's no real incentive for the devs to nerf it when they could just put something that's more powerful out. And we've seen that with the Sunstone Shard Dust. Like they'll just put something more powerful out. It doesn't matter. And then you have the Sunstone Dust, and then you'd pair that with like Mr. Freeze. You're doing quite a bit of damage. So yeah, so I don't even really look at that as like as a given. And then you have some people saying, oh, this will be totally broken for tank. Not really, because tank you only do half the damage because you don't have the 12 seconds of ticks like you would for like you would for the damage side of it. So it's just not enough people have the ability. I mean, I have it, I tested it, you guys saw it on my stream, but there are quite a few people that don't have the ability. So now they're being dragged into rumors and things because they can't test it for themselves. So that's kind of the problem there. There's only a handful of people that have these abilities. Not everybody else is able to test them. So it's affecting how people are able to know whether something's true or not. That's how I see it. Let me see here. Count says, did I miss anything? I was in the restroom. Did you see my blue lantern? It goes by the name Sir Fortescue. Inter Angel says, in love with the gray style. Andre says, hello. Can I submit my hero to the showcase? I would say just be here, and if you got a good style, I'll check it out. Tiny Little, it says, I've been playing with the Smart Disc and Hope Wave. They crit okay. I think what you think. The Smart Disc. I don't know what you mean by the Smart Disc. Hope Wave is really OP, just in terms that it's a cone ability. It hits multiple targets, and it gives you quite a bit of supercharge back. So I thought that was really good. So I think a lot of people are going to end up using that instead of Starbolt. I think Starbolt's kind of on the slow side, and this one's kind of just quicker and gives you a little more supercharge, I believe. But I haven't really tested the numbers, so I could be wrong on that. But from what I've noticed, just with me keeping up supercharge, it's easier with the Hope Wave. Storm Goddess is awesome, gray style. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and check out a few more. I think we've already seen Magneto before. I think it's the same style as last time, so I don't think I'm going to delve into that one. We got Sapphire Star over here, so it's just Star Sapphire backwards. So they're using the wrong emblem, but I think the rest of the pieces that they got are pretty solid. I don't think they're terrible. I think they're pretty solid. Yeah, I think they're pretty close to her as a character. The only emblem I'd use would be the Manhunter emblem, is what you'd want to use for the emblem here. But I think like everything else is pretty spot on. Yeah, I think that's what everybody else would pretty use. I mean, I think the only other thing is maybe the Owlman legs. But I mean, these work pretty well. It's just the Owlman legs have a slightly better material on them. And then it looks like we have. I actually like this. Kudos. I actually like this. So they went ahead. They made a blue and red Lantern Razor. It's obviously not how he looks in the show, but I still like kind of like the attempt at making an original version of a pre-established character. So I like that. I like the effort that was put forth to kind of make it look pretty good. So yeah, that's actually kind of nice. I like that. That kind of sticks out. It's not something that I've seen dozens of times over. Because to be honest, it's like if I've seen a style like quite a few times over and it's got like a slightly different version of it, it's like, to me, that's not really a different style. I feel like you got to come up with something new, and that's why it's like, if a style's slightly different because you changed the colors on it a little bit, or you added I don't know, a different R or something, to me that's basically the same style. So I like to see, like things that are like totally different. So I love it when I see people with like stuff like that, because it is truly different, and I want to see that. All right. Let's see, and then we got Melina Hope. This actually looks like a French-inspired style. Oh my goodness, I actually like this. So this is like a mime. Okay, yeah. I could definitely get down with this. I mean, how many times have you seen a mime in game? I actually like this. This is kind of cool. Yeah, very nice. Very well done. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Something that's totally different. Something that I haven't seen before, or something that's like a slightly different version of it. It's like, I'm not really interested in that. I like to see things that I haven't seen before. Like, this is really good. I find that the shoulder piece and the headpiece work really well together. I really like that. And then, like, I think, like, the huge, like, gauntlet on the side on this little tiny character is, like, ridiculous, but I think it works really well. It has, like, a very, like, anime-esque, like, feel to it. So, I kind of like that. That's very good. And then we have Daros Omni Divine, or Divine. Let's see. Oh my gosh. This is actually really good. So, this is supposed to be, I believe, like the original version of the, this is supposed to be the original version of, I'm losing my train of thought here. Or this is supposed to be the original version of the Eradicator from the DC Comics. So, very nice. Very well done. I like that. I could tell just from the back who that was. And I was slowly making my way to them. Let me see here. Andre says, I like his power range. Tommy build, may he rest in peace. Unseen Salvager saying, are you going to post your raid style? Yes. Everything that you've seen in videos in the past 2 to 3 days, I will post in a video. I promise. It'll be in there. Tiny Lilith says, sorry, I make my own names. The Pacifying Strike and Blue Lantern ability. Pacifying Strike. Let's see. Oh, the single one. It says it's a controller debuff. I think that'd be okay for like controllers. I don't really use it because it's single target, and if I were to spam something, I'd want to hit as many things as possible. So I would use the citillating blast. Like, I can't even, like, I don't even know how to pronounce that. I had to look that up. But well, anyway, yeah, this blast right here, it hits like quite a few targets. Now, the only thing I'd actually have to look at is, like, on a single target, how much this crits for and what the base is versus the Pacifying Strike. That's what I'd really have to look at, to be honest. But for single target, I kind of go to the Luminous Beam instead. Yeah, I go to the Luminous Beam because it's an ambush, so it does more when they go over a certain, when they're over a certain threshold of health. But it hits for, like, for me, I've run Berserk, and I kid you not, I've used this and like the Elite Alert, and it hits for like 1.5 to 2 million damage. Just on that ability when it's fully buffed up and everything, and I'm using Berserk, and the Berserk runs another half of 50% off of that damage, and then the rats run like another 25 to 40 off of that, or 10 to 40, something like that, off of this. So, you know, so you're almost, it's insane the sort of damage that you're getting from that. So yeah, for me, this one's really OP. So I use this in my single target, for my single target loadout. But yeah, that's pretty much what I run for that. I would probably run the new, because I saw Mel did a video on the. No, I probably wouldn't run it though. He did a new video on the new iconic ability, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, maybe I throw it in the place of Vindictive, but then Vindictive doesn't need full supercharge to work. No, it doesn't need full supercharge to work, where the other one needs at least a 50%. And then the Perfect Poise uses like a 2.5. I don't know. Me just thinking out loud here. And then we have Lucas Bishop over here. So this is not bad for a Bishop character. This is actually pretty good. I like the beard and hair combo. I think that works out really well. The gun on the back is classic. You need the scarf. That's kind of a big deal as well. I think I use the same leg style, maybe-ish. The waist, I don't know. But I think I use the waist. But overall, very, very nice Bishop style. The only thing that's kind of missing from that is like some sort of a display of like energy or something to that effect. Just kind of show off the energy that he can spew forth when he absorbs things. So that'd be kind of cool if we were able to see some sort of a display like that, whether it's an aura or something of that nature. That'd be kind of cool. So we got magic. Oh, wait, I'm gonna look at Donna over here. I'm gonna look at Donna. Here we go, Donna. No, they're not here. Then I'm going to Gothwitch right next to him. So I actually like the hair combo with the hat. I think that works out really well. Yeah. The little like bracelets on the hands aren't bad. It's a very casual style. I think that's kind of why I like it. It's a casual style to it. And then we got Magic User. He's got something totally different. So let's take a quick look over there. So this isn't bad. I kind of like this. Yeah, it's not bad. I think I've seen something relatively close to that. But not exactly like that. We got the Immortal Iron Fist. I don't think I've seen many Iron Fists running around his characters. The only thing he's missing is the emblem. Yeah, that's all he's really missing. I mean, I think the belt works really well. I'm glad it doesn't clip into the chest style, so luckily it works really well with slimline style. So yeah, that actually looks pretty good. Inter Angel says good Bishop style. Yeah, it was very good Bishop style. And then we have the Invisible Woman. So I kind of like this style for the Invisible Woman. I kind of like, how it doesn't have like the shoulder sleeves or anything. It's kind of like a, I don't know. It's just very different. I think I kind of like that. I think, if I recognize it correctly, I think that's a Royal Tamaranian chest style. But very nice. And then of course, then they use like the Tactical Archer hand style. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, it's definitely a much different take on the character, but I kind of like that. I think I have seen that in the comics before, or seen that somewhere before. Let's see here. We got Mr. Batsy's over here. That's actually pretty funny. Let's see. He needs a new chest style. That's what he needs. He needs the new Kryptonian, absolute Kryptonian chest style. That's what he needs there. That would be a massive improvement on the style. I think we've finally seen the end to the Stalwart Defender chest style being the go-to for the largest emblem, or the Fugonaut set. I think we've seen the end to that. I don't think we're going to. I don't think they're going to be the big thing anymore. I think it's pretty much over for them in terms of styles. We got another Invincible style here. All right. And then Fundraiser's got himself a, what's that? A Blue Lantern style. I feel like this part needs to be darker though, and maybe you could kind of let off on this blue a little bit. Saint Walker has more of a, I don't want to say a greenish blue, but it's more of like a sky blue that's maybe a little darker than a very blue. He doesn't have a very blue. I mean, it depends on the media, right? It depends on where you see it. But I've definitely, at least in this game, the blue is a very gentle blue for the color. Yeah. And then we got Viltrumites over here, so it looks like we got a Regent Bragg. I finally saw the voice acting for him, or heard the voice acting for him for the new little trailer teaser. Oh my goodness, that was so great. He actually sounds more elegant than I thought he would, but I'm guessing he's going to become more savage as time goes along when he actually has some real like resistance, right? Because I think at this point he's kind of looking like down upon them, but I think there will come a point to where he will really start to despise them, to the point to where he will be very savage when it comes to dealing with them. I think you will see that come out and play out at some point, but I think right now he's very subdued, or he doesn't really have a need to be that sort of a person. You know, because first of all, he's not fighting in that clip, and second of all, he doesn't feel a real threat, or at least he hasn't encountered it like firsthand. So he doesn't really have anything to, or at least in his mind, he has nothing to worry about at that current point. I kind of like this. This is a good version of the character. I know I used this pole last time, but I ended up using energy on it, so it kind of showcased his energy abilities. But other than that, I think a lot of this is pretty good. A lot of the styles on this, yeah. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and swap a phase, because I think we're pretty good here. I think I'm gonna swap down a phase. Still in combat? No, we're not. Okay. I'm gonna just switch down to this one. The other one only says 2, so I'm not gonna hang around in there very soon, to be honest. Yeah, if we don't have any interesting styles here, I think we're gonna go ahead and switch back. Yeah, we're gonna switch back. Oh, we got that one that said it was full. I think I'll switch to that one. Is there anything new that I have never seen before? Let's see if Cheater's got something here. Actually, I actually like this. I've never seen this before, and it's already got me. I like the smiley face thing on the shield, on the yeah. I actually like that. That's actually kind of funny. I like that. Yeah, very much. I like that. Very good style. Yeah. We got Francis D. Castle. Oh, he's using that new chest style. All right. Yeah, he's got to be using it. That's a gigantic logo. It's got to be. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Very good thing to stick with. And then we have Mara over here. So not bad. I'm not crazy for the accessory, but I do like the splashing effects with it. I feel like in this case the accessory actually takes away from the character, because it mars a lot of the details of the character. You can't see as clearly with you know, the character in general. But I mean, I think all the colors are on point. Very nice. Yeah. Let's see here. We have Bartholomew over here. it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I don't really know what to make too much of that style, but it's not bad. And then we have Bat Funk over here. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I mean, it kind of looks cool, but I have no idea what I'm looking at. Alright. And then we have Storm Sky over here. I have not seen this before. I actually like this. I like the short hair casual thing for Storm for once. That actually works out really well. Yeah, that actually works really well for the character. We got Valera over here, if I pronounce that right. Okay, so they're doing like a Violet from like The Incredibles. Okay, that's not bad. That's not terrible. It's pretty nice. Let's see here. We got PPZ. It looks like he's also wearing the head style. All right. So it looks like we've got an Omega Trooper thing kind of going on here. Very nice. Yeah, it's not bad. I kind of like it. And who's that next to him? I'm trying to figure out who's next to him there. PPZ. Is it Bree Davenport? Yes, it is. Look at that. I got it right on. Okay, it's not terrible. Not bad. I don't know why their name didn't show up, though. That's actually pretty crazy. I'm going to look at... I don't even know how to pronounce their name. Oh, okay, they left, so I'm going to go to this one right here. There we go. I think the skin's a pretty good choice for that. It's not terrible. I feel like there just could be more to the style. And then we've got this one right here. So it's kind of like an assassin-like style to it. It's not terrible. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's not terrible. Alright. I think we're good here. I'm going to move back to the first phase. Oh, I'm going to look at Doompig. Has he changed anything? I'm going to do a quick look. If not, I'm going to skip back. Oh my goodness, he has changed it. I think this is the ultimate Doompig. This is the ultimate Doompig right here. Yeah. Very nice. Let me try to do a shot where he doesn't have the earth on him. Yeah, I think that works out like really well, and I love how it looks like he has the pig nose coming through. I like that. That works really well, and he's got the little ears with it. Yeah, that's good. That's very good. Yeah, that's some mad creativity right there. I'm gonna look at Nara here real quick. I keep finding these people popping up. Okay, I think I have seen that before, so I'm gonna skip that. Then we get out of combat. And then if we have no one else that's new in chat, I will quickly go to I'll take a few questions, and then I think we can call that a stream. PPC says, I made an Omega bot style in honor of Omega beams getting nerfed. Nah, they didn't get nerfed. It's just people that don't know what they're talking about, or they're trying to sell you something. Yeah. I laughed when I saw that, and I was like, seriously? Yeah. When people don't know what they're doing with a certain power, they'll say, oh, it's nerfed, and then people are like, no, it's not nerfed. Then they realize they just didn't know what they were doing. Yeah. So I take a lot of things like that with a little grain of salt. I don't take any of that very seriously. It's just not great. Like, this is a good Blue Lantern style. I actually like that. I think it works very well for this character. Yeah, very nice. All right. Yeah, very, very well done style there. They did a pretty good job with that. All right, I'll look at 2 more styles, and then we're going to go to a quick question session. So go ahead and ask me whatever you would like. I'm going to look at 2 more styles, so get your questions out there, and then I'll take a look at them. Ultimate Batman JL. So I've seen something like that like early enough before, so I'm going to kind of skip that. We're not going to count that. So we've got Nightwing. I've seen that before. We're going to skip past that again. Susanna, what's he got going on? If it's the same, we'll skip, but I'm willing to take a quick look. I think I've seen something pretty close to that. I'll look at one more. King Eric. We'll look at King Eric, and then I'll take a few questions. I'll read a few, and we'll go ahead and look at them. King Eric. Okay, it's not bad. It's pretty good Magneto there. It's not terrible. Yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, I see that they're using the glossy finish. Definitely the best one to use. Alright. I'm going to take some questions here. I'm looking at chat. We got Inter Angel says Doom's Pig is great. Yeah, I thought them using that alien head style was really good. PPZ says I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, I know you're being sarcastic. In case anyone believes me. Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know. I saw like 3 people saying that, and I was just like, are you serious? I'm like, are you kidding me here? It's just people that don't understand their powers. They swapped out something, or they have something that's different, or they thought they saw different numbers and they're just wrong. They just can't read the their logs, their parse logs. So yeah, so I saw a bunch about that. I was watching a bunch of Mel's videos as of lately, and he was covering the new iconic ability and kind of reading out the damage that it does in DPS roll. The only thing he didn't read out was what it does in tank roll, and I feel like you're gonna. I feel like a lot of tanks are going to think that. I think a lot of tanks are going to think that they can get the same damage as the DPS with the with that build, basically, right? And you're not. The tanks do not get the same damage as the DPS side, just because the DPS side has an actual mechanic for putting dots on characters for 12 seconds. The tank side does not have that. It has has a shield on it, so it's going to do vastly less damage. It does like half the damage as the DPS side. So I feel like that's a big thing. It's like you got a lot of battle tanks in the game now. Like, it's become very popular, and so I think that's something you also got to kind of. I think you got to represent all of the. As many as you can, obviously, right? But represent as many of the roles that you can that you think are going to end up using that. That's why I kind of, when I did my live stream, I also showed like what the tank side did, right? Because I know that it's not going to do as much as the DPS side. PPZ says it really puts into perspective how much influence one player can have in the small community. Once it's said, it spreads like wildfire. I think it just comes down to the hysteria and people not people not doing their own parsing, not doing their own research, not doing their they don't do any of that. So that's what happens when you have a community that 100% relies on the word of one or two people. You can't do that. You have to, like I can understand, like, there's been times where I don't know what I want to do for a loadout. So I'll look at what one person's doing, but then I'll adjust it to how I think I can make it better, or what powers would make it better, and then I make it my own. And then there's some times where I'll do it from scratch. But there's definitely times where I'll just sit there, keep using certain powers and seeing which ones hit for more. And be like, okay, well then this is the obvious one I'm going to use. What's the cooldown on it? Like, and these are things that a lot of people in the game just don't do. They just get force-fed loadouts, and then they use those until they're vastly irrelevant. And you can't do that. You have to keep pushing the envelope. You have to keep seeing if you can make your build better. You can't be complacent and sit on the same build and think it's going to keep outlasting everything. Every time something new comes out, your build could be threatened from being to becoming irrelevant. If you really love it, yeah, you can keep playing with it, but you will underperform. And there's a point to where it's like, that's fine if you underperform as long as it's not egregious, right? I feel like when it becomes a huge detriment on the group to where you're getting like 5 to 6 times like multiplied on your damage or something like that, or your heals or your troll, then what are we doing here, right? Like, at that point, it's affecting the group. But I feel like if somebody's doing, like, I don't know, 20%, 30% more damage than you, I don't like, at that point it's like it's no biggie. Like, really what I try to focus on is boss damage, right? Boss damage is what gets you there. It's what gives you your loot. Like, if ad damage was so important, then you'd be getting loot from ads. No, you get loot from bosses. That's more important. That's what I see. So I feel like if you can get through the content comfortably, and it's not because you're not getting enough, like obviously if you could tell if the burn's way too slow in a run, like, you know, if you're just there and it's like the boss seems like they're taking forever to get taken down, then obviously burn's a problem, right? But I feel like if it's like, oh, we shaved off a minute because we got a better DPS, and like, okay, really, we're going to cry over a minute, 5 minutes? Like, to me that's kind of, okay, now that's kind of being elitist. But if it goes from a 10-minute fight to a 30-minute fight, then what are we doing here, right? Like, there's something going on. That's kind of what I look at. So it's all about looking at everything as a whole, not like the little margins. But yeah, so it's just people not doing their own research, and they're believing everything they're saying because they're ill-informed, because they don't know better. They don't do their own research. Tiny Lilith says, for me, I was getting the same damage from Omega Beams. That's why I asked in Discord, because my test said that there were no nerf. Yeah, it's because you tested, you knew what it was doing, and you knew exactly where your damage sources were coming from. Like, this person could say, oh, my Omega was doing less, but the truth is actually they probably had a pet in their loadout, so the pet was also adding 2 million damage, and they now run a loadout that doesn't run a pet, and they thought that all that damage was coming from Omega, and it's not true. So they could have Strat running in the background that they had with their old build with Omega, and now they're not running Strat, so now they're not getting those extra ticks, or they're not running Power Ring anymore. Sinestro's corrupted Power Ring. So they think that Omega was doing a certain amount of damage, and it wasn't. It was doing its correct damage, but then they had something else in there. But since they don't know where all their damage sources are coming from, they're muddying the water of their tests, because they don't understand where things come from and why builds run the way they do. That's what I'm talking about. They don't understand their loadouts and the builds that they're building, that they're with what they're running for people, because they don't understand them. They don't understand how everything works. And that's what you're going to get with a lot of new players. It's not a bad thing, but they're also the people that are the most prone to getting hit with like misinformation on things, and then they believe in all this stuff because they don't know any better. Andre says it also happens when people only read the title. Yeah, they only read the title and they believe that it's actually a thing. Yeah, you're absolutely true. But then I'll see content creators that make titles like that, um, that do make titles like that, and then they're trying to sell you, oh, you should open up time capsules, or you can buy abilities cheap off the broker, or you could buy them from me for cash, or you can, like, things like that. And I don't really like that sort of stuff. That doesn't feel very good. I can't really condone stuff like that. That's kind of shystery in my opinion. Yeah, there are a lot of very good iconic abilities in the time capsules, but I don't know, to sell the idea that the thing that they've leveled up has been nerfed so that they need to get on the bandwagon to buy something else or to get something else in another way or another. I don't know. To me, that's kind of shystery. I don't like that. Um, but yeah, so that's how I kind of see it. Um, but yeah, so Omega has not been nerfed. Do your own research. Do your own parsing. Make sure you don't have anything attributing to the damage. Look for yourself. It's not nerfed. It has never been nerfed. So no, don't believe that. There's no reason to believe it's nerfed. Literally not nerfed. Do your own research on it. If you got to pull up your old build, do the damage parse again, and then do your new one and realize what you changed out. You will find a difference in there. Trust me, I've been in that situation where I didn't understand something, and my first gut instinct was that something was changed. I've been there before, but I don't post it all over the place because at the same time, I'm like, I could be wrong. There is a little bit of self-doubt in there, and that self-doubt has saved me so many times because then I'll come back and I'll be like, oh wait, oops, I had this on. Thank God I didn't say anything about it because I would have been wrong. So I've been there before. I've jumped the gun, but it's usually been internal. And then I do my own test again. I'm like, oh, okay, no, I swapped this and this and this off. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So I've even caught myself. So if I'm catching myself with stuff like that, like people that are new or people that are uninformed, they're going out there and they're saying like, oh, no, it hasn't been nerfed. But they're going out there and they're saying it because they don't know any better. Tiny Lith says, I think what will happen, something better will come before a nerf. A lot of things that are better are already coming, or are very close to being better, have already come around for that. You have water being buffed. You have the 2 lantern rings. A lot of those abilities also split damage now. Don't split damage, and they're actually quite spammable, or you can use them quite often. Do they hit as high as Omega per tick? No, they do not. But you have a lot of things that could basically facilitate that and almost overcome that damage. They haven't overcome it yet, but a lot of things have come very close to not really needing Omega. Does it still make Omega a not as good of a power? No, I still use it. It's still a very good power. So I'm going to use it until it's like totally obsolete, but I will definitely keep my ear to the floor to go ahead and if there's anything that's even better than that, then obviously I'm going to look at getting that. But so far, no, Omega is still very good, and it has been nerfed and it's still very good. So no, still keep using it. Keep using it until it's obsolete, and I think it'll be a little while before it's obsolete. So I don't think we're going to see a nerf with that. I think the devs don't want to deal with a nerf because it just doesn't look very good on them. And second of all, then they would have to basically do some sort of, I was going to say some sort of a payback or something. I'm trying to find the right word. Some sort of like a gift to the players that did level it up. So, to kind of like we're going, since you took the time and leveled it up and put your money or time into it, we'll give you some sort of a gift, with us nerfing it, a little consolation gift. That's what I'm thinking of. That's what they would do. And I don't think they want to do that, to be honest. They don't want to do that. and I don't blame them. So they're not going to do anything like that. And I think they want to make the game more accessible for players that don't have as much knowledge. And Omega and Lasso were good ways of making players that aren't as experienced be able to do decent damage and content without being super knowledgeable. But like you see now that's kind of a problem because these players don't know anything about the game or they know very little, and now when you have even the slightest amount of misinformation, now they're believing it because they don't know any better. Because they don't know how the damage works in the game, or they don't understand it. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing that turns into a bad thing under the wrong conditions, or rather the right conditions. PPZ says, nerfing Omega Beams would make me mad. To be honest, if they ever did that, I spent so much time maxing it out. I think it'd make a lot of players mad, and that's another reason why they don't want to do it. They don't want to give out consolation prizes. They don't want to make players mad. They don't want people to leave the game over their favorite artifact being nerfed. I wouldn't want it to be nerfed. I love Darkseid as a character, and I like the Omega Beams as a power, so I wouldn't like it if they nerfed it. I just on an intellectual level, as the character Darkseid and where the Omega Beams come from. Just on that level, on a comic book level, I wouldn't want that. They should be powerful. Darkseid is a very powerful being. They should be very powerful. So yeah, that's how I kind of feel about it. And I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny, but also kind of sad that it was catching so many people like that. But yeah, so that's pretty much the deal on that. Omega has not been nerfed. Go ahead and enjoy it. It is hitting like normal, so no, the artifact hasn't been changed. So go ahead and enjoy it. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the live stream. You guys enjoy the game. I do not know who is winning or who's winning at this point. I'll have to check it out after I get off here. The short for last week should be down tomorrow or Tuesday. I'll have to if I don't have time early in the morning tomorrow, I'll do it Tuesday because I'm off Tuesday. And maybe I'll have a little surprise Tuesday. Maybe I won't. I gotta double check. Maybe something. Maybe a little surprise for a certain server. So yeah. So I'll go ahead and I'll let you guys go. I appreciate you all for hanging out with me on this Sunday. Go ahead and enjoy the Super Bowl game, and we'll see who wins. Okay? I'll see you all laters.